So if you've read my book, Greater Perspective on the Sermon on the Mount, if you haven't read it, why not? But if you've read it, you'll know I talk a lot about this. And I talk a lot about these two types of people, the people who build their house on the rock and the people who build their house on the sand. And I've dubbed them, I said, as far as Jesus is concerned, there's only two types of people: sand dwellers and rock dwellers. And you know, I love to visit the beach as much as the next guy. But the question is, do you really want to build the house of your life on the shifting, sinking sands of the beach? Or do you want to build the house of your life on the rock? See, the beach is somewhere you visit. I'm not sure you want to build your house there. And see, when we look at us, how do we build our life? How do we build our life upon the rock? See, Jesus said this. He said when he was going to build his house, where did he say he was going to build it? Anybody remember? He said, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. But what is the rock? Specifically, what is the rock? And it's very simply this. The rock, if you look through all of Scripture in the totality, the rock is God and His Word and the truth of His Word. That is the solid rock in which we stand. That is what Christ is. And in Deuteronomy 32:4 says this, that He is the rock, the God of truth, in whom there is no injustice. And so that is the truth. But the sand dwellers, where did they build their house? They build their house on the sinking, shifting sands of the ephemeral wisdom of the philosophies of man. Those things that look so appealing on the surface, but in the end will lead you to nothing but destruction. They're things like Marxism and communism and wokeism and secularism and humanism, and the list goes on and on. If it's got an ism in it, you probably don't want to build your house on it. And I love what Abraham Lincoln said. One day he picked up the Bible and he held it up and he said, "This book is the greatest gift that God has given to man. For without it, we would not know right and wrong." Is that true? Can we know right and wrong without His Word? And I think the answer is no. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at a very, very famous verse today. Some words of Jesus from John chapter 8. Verses 31 and 32, and we're going to break it down and dig into it today. Verse 31 says this, and Jesus said to those Jews who believed, "If you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free."